My kids and I recently finished our first quarter of our homeschool year and took some time to reflect. Here's the real and raw evaluation of how year 12 of homeschooling is going. Hi, I'm Erin. I'm a former public school teacher turned homeschool mama, and I love to take time to reflect on all the things, especially in my homeschool. My husband and I are the teachers, the principal, the whole school system, and we have the freedom to personalize our children's education. That also means that we are fully responsible for how they progress and what they learn. And so we take that very seriously. Reflection helps us to see what's working and what's not working, things that we might miss in just the regular everyday hustle and bustle of just doing school. Now, this is not my typical video because in most of my videos, I'm giving you examples from my life, but I'm telling you what you can do and how you can apply it. In this video, I'm just really reflecting on what we're doing, and the whole video itself is an example for you to take and reflect on your homeschool year, whether it's your first year or your 10th, how it's so important to just pause occasionally and evaluate, is this working, or is there something that I could do differently and improve? My husband and I have 4 daughters. 2 have already graduated, and we have a kindergartner and a 4th grader still at home. And so here's a little glimpse into what we've noticed this quarter in our homeschool. Let's start with my 4th grader first. We've been studying American history. Last year we started with exploration, colonization, Revolutionary War, Civil War, and Reconstruction. This year we jumped in with the Great Depression, and she has thoroughly enjoyed this study. It's absolutely amazing, all of the connections that she makes from our study to the movies that we've watched of Shirley Temple and Annie and things like that. It has been a great delight to see all the things that she understands and how she connects that even to books outside of our social studies unit. In science, we're learning about the human body, and so we've read several different books about how all of our body systems work together and things that we can do to keep our body healthy. And then we've done a deep dive about the heart and the lungs. And we've had some great conversations about how God designed our bodies so amazingly and intricately. And we've done a few hands-on activities, but overall, I didn't do as good as I should have with planning and following through with these hands-on activities. And my daughter really enjoys those. So I know, and she shared with me, that that's something that's got to change. I got to kick it up a notch for next semester. So I've got to go pull up the Pinterest board and print out some stuff and actually gather materials together and follow through on those hands-on activities. At some point, my 4th grader found out that one of her big sisters had learned cursive writing in the 3rd grade, and she was very upset that she had not yet learned to write in cursive. So I purchased the Handwriting Without Tears book, and she is absolutely loving it. I highly recommend that book if you are looking to teach any kind of handwriting, print or cursive. But that was a huge success so far. It has been wonderful. She's loving it. We don't have any kind of fights or delays when it's time to practice handwriting. But I realized she was not enjoying the writing prompts that I had picked out for this year. Over the summer, I found a printable of like 50 writing prompts of how to get to know yourself better, self-help, reflection type thing. And so it was all these different questions about what do you like about this and what do you not like about that and how can you improve this. And she hated it. She absolutely hated it. If it had been a discussion, it might have been okay, but the fact that she had to think about it and dig deep and then write, that was not her speed at all. And maybe it is for an older age group. I don't know. I wanted to do the reflections with her. I wanted her to think about the things. Well, it just was a total flop. And I realized this when she was writing less and less and less. And I didn't wait until the end of the quarter. I actually just put a kibosh on it. We stopped, and I said, guess what? I made a mistake. I picked the wrong thing here. This is not helping you to be a good writer, and I just want you to write. So I allowed her to not have a prompt and write about whatever she wanted to. And her writing came back to life. There were more sentences on the page. There was less delays and a lot more progress. I also made a decision to add in a proofreading and editing time for her journal. Now, normally, if she writes a paper, we go through proofreading and editing, but this journal writing has kind of been a free writing time. But I noticed there were several errors on a regular basis. And so I decided to implement a weekly editing and proofreading time So she writes one day, and then the next day we go through together and we reread, and I help her to see. I allow her a chance first to see if there's anything that she didn't like about what she wrote. Is there any mistakes, spelling errors, grammar errors, etc.? And I'm trying to help her to implement what she's learning in her grammar book into this. And we also decided to add in a word study and kind of review some phonics things that were not carrying over in reading and in writing. So things that she'd been taught, things that she knew, but that she wasn't applying consistently. This is our second year using Dimensions Math, and things are going very well. She loves that they have authentic examples and lots of word problems. That really is very meaningful to her. It makes math more meaningful and come alive. And I notice that as much as she hates addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, because it tends to be more problems on a page instead of real life word problems and examples. But I did notice that she was learning a lot. And when it came time to do the chapter on money, she was applying the things that she had learned in the other chapters, and she was doing it very well. So it's working even if she doesn't like it. And so that's a tip to me, that she doesn't have to like everything. And that's a tip to you as well. They don't have to like it. Sometimes you just have to do the things. We did discover over the first quarter that she needs things to be quiet when she's doing math. So if it's a beautiful day, she goes outside to do her math. Sometimes she puts on headphones. Sometimes I have to send her sister to the other room so that she can have quiet. We've also implemented videos for this that go along with our curriculum, and especially in those chapters that she considers boring, she enjoys the video instruction. And now for my kindergartner. This is probably my favorite age and stage. This is what I taught in public school, and it's so much fun to teach my own children the things that I did for years and years in a classroom. So my little one is already able to identify most of the capital letters, and she's working on lowercase letters. She's learned many of them in the first quarter, and I'm so proud of her. Part of the way through the quarter, I realized she had no idea that letters made sounds. And so I pulled out from my bag of tricks from my public school teaching days, Dr. Gene Feldman's songs, Alphardy and Letter Size. Those are great songs for teaching phonics because they involve movement as well. And they were a big hit with her. Last year we did some preschool activities, and she had already mastered one-to-one correspondence, touching each object as she counted, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of the sweeping 1, 2, 3, 4 that some kids do. And she also had mastered counting up to 20. But she really surprised me this year with her ability to subbatize. And that means, like, if you roll a die, you can instantly say, oh, there's 5, or oh, that's 6. And so I was shocked at that, really surprised at how well she did looking at a number and not having to count, but knowing instantly, oh, it's this many. And then she also is learning how to write numerals, which has been a challenge. She has not enjoyed learning to write, but we've tried to use some games and rhymes. Actually, Dr. Gene Feldman has a song about how to make the numerals. I think it's called the Numeral Song. And that really helps too. My kindergartner is also using Handwriting Without Tears. She's still working in the preschool book that someone gave us about halfway through the year last year. And it's great. It is absolutely wonderful. And I'm not going to rush her. I do have the kindergarten book ready. So when we finish this one, I'll just switch her to that one. And we'll continue to practice forming our letters and numbers correctly. So for the second quarter, I've decided to incorporate 2 more things into the mix for her. One thing is something I used in my public school teaching days. It's a morning message. Every day I will write a note to her on our marker board, or I'll write a quote or a Bible verse, and then she will have to find certain letters in that. So maybe today it's letter T, and then tomorrow it's letter P. And then I can use that over the weeks and months to come to teach all kinds of reading and writing skills. So she'll be able to learn different words from that. She'll understand moving across the page correctly. She'll understand one-to-one correspondence when reading. She'll understand the difference between letters and words, different punctuation, what you do when you get to the end of the line, how you have to return sweep down. And so there are all sorts of skills that I'll be teaching by using that. The second thing I'm going to start doing this quarter is number of the day. And so this is different activities to build number sense. So things as simple as tally marks, showing the number on the 10 frame, showing the number of cubes, number bonds, writing the numeral, writing the number words, and writing the numbers that come before and after the numeral. It's just a fun way to teach number sense, and I want to make sure, even though she is using a math curriculum too, that she has a good solid foundation when it comes to numbers and number sense before we go on to other skills. Overall, my reflection for this quarter about myself is that I love teaching my children, and it is my favorite time of day. But at the same time, I can get very focused on getting done with school, and I'm not as relaxed and letting them enjoy the journey. And so I'm letting those other responsibilities and things in my life pressure me. And so I need to slow down and prioritize my girls, prioritize school being fun again, letting go of the mindset of I've got to get all these things done, and just remembering that homeschooling them is an opportunity, it's a privilege, it's an honor, and it is my most important priority of the day. Also, for the first time in my life, I started taking dance classes at the girls' dance studio. We belong to a homeschool dance group, and it has been absolutely amazing to watch them grow as they learn to tumble and tap and do ballet and all the things. But this year, they offered a mom class, and I decided that even though I've never danced before, this was something I needed to try. And so the moms are not learning ballet or tap. We're just learning some line dances. But I wanted to do this because I wanted to step into my girls' world. I wanted to be in a position where I'm the amateur and they're the expert. I wanted them to see me model health and movement and fitness and lifelong learning. I wanted to have some fun and connect with some other moms. And I also wanted to have this opportunity to connect with my kids. In the afternoon, we take a break and go outside together to dance and to have fun and to laugh and to connect. I'm building our connections with each other. I'm building their confidence. They get to show off. They get to teach me. They get to see me laugh at myself when I make mistakes. They get to see me practice and go at it again and again, learning and getting better and better each time. And I'm modeling the things for them that I tell them to do. So as I said in the beginning of the video, reflection is a regular part of my life. In my health, in my habits, in my friendships, in my walk with God, I'm constantly looking to see what's working and what's not working and how I can improve that. And I don't ever want reflection to be like a list of shortcomings, because that's not what this is about. But I do want to notice growth, I want to adjust with grace, and I want to celebrate progress, no matter how small it is. So my encouragement to you, after you've stuck it out this far in the video and heard what I do in my homeschool and what's working and what's not working, I encourage you to sit down, just take a minute and reflect, alone and with your kids. What is working? What curriculum is working? What instruction methods are working? What routines are working? And what isn't? What can you change slightly or majorly to make your life and your homeschool more joyful and more effective? Homeschooling isn't static. It's an active experience. It's growing and it's shifting, and we get to change and adjust as our kids do. What works in one season might not work in the next, and what works for one child might not work for another. So every few months, I encourage you to pause and evaluate, see the fruit of what you've been faithfully planting, and make changes where needed. And if you'd like some extra support as you reflect and make those small but powerful adjustments, I would love to help you with my Coach in Your Pocket program. It's designed to help you evaluate your homeschool, identify what's working, and make intentional tweaks so that you can move forward with confidence. And it would be my honor to work with you. If you want information about that, the link is in the description below. Homeschooling is a journey of learning together. Let's enjoy it. Happy homeschooling.